All right, so this knife that's video is going to be on this knife, and this is the Bestech Knives Eye of Raw. And this was loaned by my friend Dan. Dan has loaned a lot of knives to the channel. I really appreciate it. It allows me to make more videos, more content, and show off much more varied knives to you. And I think that that's a great thing. So I really appreciate that Dan has loaned so many knives so far, and appreciate him loaning this one. So let's take a look at the knife. Bestech is another Chinese knife company that has kind of come onto the scene, and a lot of people really like them. I haven't tried one before this, so I was interested to see this, and the first thing that I thought was, is this one of the Chinese brands or Chinese knives that are, expensive? When I looked at this, I thought, kind of looks like an expensive knife with the colorway and things like that. Turns out this is about $55. You can get them from Amazon and knife dealers also. So not too expensive and still pretty much in the budget range. So that was a nice thing for me to find out, because from the look standpoint, I think you're getting a lot for that price range. To me, this really looks great for a couple reasons. First of all, it's got a lot of milling, a lot of machining here. You can see this kind of interesting curve, and it does kind of look like an eye. You see that? There's the ball, the iris, and then the eyelid type shape here. So it gives you that look like an eye. And then the colorway, this OD green, or just green really, with the gold, and the gold liners are kind of protruding out. It really looks cool to me. I like it quite a bit. It also has what looks like a proprietary pivot here, which gives it kind of a look of fanciness. But on the other side, it is a normal Torx, so you can take it apart. So I think it looks really nice, and the design also looks nice. It just looks really sleek to me. It has some contouring to the G10, and I like the blade shape, the look of the blade shape. It's very classic, a straight spine, and then a nice gradual curved belly with a very fine point there. And a handle that's kind of simple, it's classic, and that always looks good also. It also seems to have great construction. So now Dan tends to take his knives apart. He likes to, he's learning to mod and adjust them always and stuff. So I don't know how this came, but it certainly now is pretty well centered. Not necessarily 100% perfect, maybe slightly towards this side, but pretty close to perfect. It is very smooth, very smooth, has ball bearings, and locks up solidly, about 50%, as you can see. No blade play that I can feel. Dan is very good at feeling for blade play. He can find it on knives even sometimes when I can't, but I'm sure he adjusted it out. Or if he didn't, this came very solid. There's no blade play that I can feel. Now, one thing to mention is that this knife does come with a clip. Dan is left-handed, and there's not really a way to switch the clip, so he took it off, but it does come with a tip-up right-handed clip. I want to show the action here. So nice action. Like I said, it has ball bearings. It's very smooth. And I found that you want to kind of get your finger in here and light switch flip, because if you kind of go flat onto it like this, of course I didn't that time, but I have had my finger slip off of the tab a couple times. I just think a lot of flippers now are kind of push buttony. This one's not as much push buttony. It's more of a light switch. So you have to get up over it and pull down like you're turning a light switch on or off. But it does flip really well as long as you get a good purchase on the flipper. But like I said, I have slipped off of it a couple times trying to open it. Now the other thing is that this is actually, I think in my opinion, a pretty practical design too. The blade shape, like I said, it's a pretty fine tip, but for me, that's not at all a problem. It doesn't come to too fine of a tip, and it's going to be practical. You can definitely use this for normal EDC, cutting boxes and things like that, but it would be great for food prep and even some outdoor type use, because it has, kind of a continuous curved edge, a little bit of straight edge maybe right here, but a nice continuous curved edge, a good seaming grind. Take a look at that. Seems nicely ground. I haven't used this knife because it's not mine. But seems like it would be very practical with a blade, and then the handle is actually really, really comfortable for me. Now, it doesn't have a clip. It might be a little different with a clip, but for me, my 3 fingers here, my pointer or index, middle, and ring finger, fit right into this area right here really well, and then my pinky finger sits on this flat, and it really makes for an extremely comfortable grip. Again, I don't know what it feels like with the clip, but without the clip, this thing is very comfortable feeling in the hand. So I really think that you could put this to use and not have any hot spots and be able to use it without any worry about it slipping out of your hand or anything like that. You can see it also has a lanyard hole. I don't use lanyards a whole lot, but Dan put this one on, and I think that, you definitely could use that. It's big enough to obviously get paracord through there. And overall, honestly, I'm impressed with this knife. I hadn't tried a Bestech. Like I said, this is the first Bestech knife that I have gotten to check out. But I think that this looks really good. I think thought went into it with this kind of eye shape, and it does overall kind of have a, an Egyptian type, maybe like a kopis knife, almost, not exactly, but a little bit of an Egyptian feel to it with the Eye of Ra, and certainly with this and with the colorway and everything. And I just think it looks good. I think that it has a practical design, and I think that it's made well too. So I'm pretty impressed. I think that it's a nice knife. If you like this design, this kind of style, then could be a good option. And honestly, it makes me interested in checking out some other Bestech knives. So I'm not super familiar with their designs. I'm gonna have to look into what other knives they have and see if there's anything that interests me. But again, huge thank you to Dan for loaning this knife. I really appreciate it. I always get it's super nice to get to check out these brands that I haven't checked out before, and I do have more on the way from Dan. So thanks again to Dan. Also, as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you know when I post new videos. Got lots more coming, as always. Check out my social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Knife Thoughts, and my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife-related topics. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.